Good evening, everybody. Sponge Steady Hawk here, counting my blessings, naming them one by one. Sorry it's taking me so long to get posted tonight. Just one of those days. But at least it's a day, right? Today, I want to give thanks and talk about how I feel blessed to have had as a friend. A lot of you will be surprised to know this, but I was friends with former WWE Champion, the late great Ultimate Warrior. He and I became friends, excuse me, in 2004, and we talked often. We had a rough patch where we didn't talk for a while, like all friends do, but towards the end of his life, we got close again, and our last conversation, he told me he loved me. He said, Sponge, you have my heart. Not many people do. And there was a time when he actually called me his hero. He's the one that really encouraged me to pursue my dream of becoming a professional bowler. He really pushed me and was a huge help and incentive. I remember the first time I ever talked to him on the phone, I had no idea who was going to call. We just chatted email up until that point. And he had found out from my late wife that I was having trouble as coming close to the end of the qualifying season, and I was afraid I wasn't going to make it because I just was not doing well physically. He called me up and encouraged me, and I finished those last 2 weeks and finished them well enough to qualify. Anyway, he and I spoke about once every 2 weeks or so. I had his cell phone number, his home phone number, his home address. And a lot of people think, wow, that must be awesome. Yeah, it really was awesome. But most of the time, we almost never, ever talked about wrestling. Most of the time we talked about our kids and how great it was to be parents. That the noblest profession in the world was being a father. And he's one of the few people in the world that really got it, that got what life was really all about. Doing your best, achieving what others say you could not. And I have. I was totally disabled. I was, legally disabled there. I was becoming a professional athlete, and that was pretty awesome. Cat, get your bum out from behind me. Hi, Tarzans. Hi, Tarzans. But he and I, like I said, most of the time we talked about our kids. And he said something once I'll never forget. We were talking about these deadbeat dads out there, fathers that don't give a crap about their kids. They don't want to spend time with their kids and all this stuff. And hi, Tarzan. Hi, baby. Yes. And I said, I don't understand how they can be that way, because to me there's nothing better than being a father. I said, when you become a dad, it's all about your kids. And he stopped me and he cut me right off in his rather gruff fashion. And he said, wrong. When you become a father, it really is all about you, because you are your child's first teacher. They learn first by watching you. You think about it, for 4 or 5 years of their life, the first 4 or 5 years of their life, they don't have a teacher. They have you. And he said a great quote that he came up with on the spot. It's, if you want to have great kids, be a great human being. And I'll never forget that. And it stuck with me. So I always try to lead by example. So it was an honor to have him as a friend. And I tried not to cry when he died, but I couldn't help it. He was a good friend. And I miss him terribly. But if I hadn't been sick, I never would have gotten to know him, just because of circumstance, I was very blessed to have known Warrior. And knowing Warrior, through him, I got to meet some other great friends like Pete Pallas, Brian Sheary, Jeff Johnson, Jay Love. I got to meet some great people and make great friends because of my relationship with Warrior. I miss him terribly, but he's in a better place, and we'll meet again someday. So knowing him was truly a blessing, and I'm blessed. And I never would have had it. If I hadn't been sick, I probably never would have gotten it. So as you can see, there's always a rose among the thorns. You just have to look for it. So remember, Tarzan's putting me to sleep here. So remember, bad times are inevitable. Misery is optional. Just refuse to be miserable. And soar above the ordinary. The spirit of the hawk. Many blessings, and be well.